And welcome YouTube viewers to the Daily Space Weather video. I'm your host Dan, aka Smash-A-Mash, coming at you from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Today we're looking at all three geospace magnetosphere movies. We've got a very diffuse solar wind, so we're looking at the velocity, the density, and the pressure. So we've got a very low pressure environment, so I wanted to show the velocity because a low pressure environment equates to a high velocity environment as plasma is reincorporated out of the edges of the Earth's magnetosphere back into the outside the magnetosphere greater solar wind regime environment. So that's why you see so much green on here and even some blue areas. That's a result of reacceleration of particles as they decide to exit the magnetosphere and become part of the outer solar wind, the part outside Earth's geospace. So that's velocity. Here's density. You can see density very low here. Low density shown in white, high density shown in dark blue. We've got a very small high density region surrounding the planet at the moment. This is what you would expect in a very high cosmic ray flux environment. So anyway, that's the density over the past 4 hours. You can see it's quite low, and that is also accompanied with very low pressure. So here's the magnetohydrodynamic pressure. The last one was just literally the protons per cubic centimeter in the geospace. The density, this is the pressure, the nanopascals. So magnetohydrodynamic pressure here for the last 4 hours. Again, very low, a very diffuse solar wind speed, and not particularly fast either. We do see a solar uptick though, so we'll get to that. First we'll show ground magnetic perturbations, and things pretty calm here on the ground level at Earth. Geospace delta B is a reference to changes in Earth's B field. And the scale here on this space weather modeling framework product is nanotesla magnetic flux density. So we've had an increase in sunspots in the radial flux. The radial flux now up to 114 solar flux units. We'll get to sunspots and so on. First, geomagnetism. Global geomagnetism here at a KP1, planetary K index, a measurement of global geomagnetism. And looking at the real-time solar wind, we see the, it's the ACE and Discover. Doesn't even believe its own data here. You can see these large error bars. Reporting numbers for solar wind density below 1 proton per cubic centimeter, only about 0.6, barely half a proton per cubic centimeter. Very diffuse solar wind indeed. Solar wind speed here now dropping below 400 to about 386 kilometers per second. It's a very slow and very diffuse solar wind. Next, looking at the sun, the heliospheric current sheet. And we're seeing some magnetic tug-of-war happening in the east. So we may see some activity form here in the northeast as well. And if you know how to read this data, you can actually use this to forecast sunspot growth and sunspots rising. I never look at stereo A in order to figure out when there will be sunspots in active regions. I only use this data because, well, the top view ecliptic plane field plot is one of the most important aspects of solar forecasting that you can have, which is why we show it daily. It took us months to figure out what tabs to show, and this is one of the most important ones that we show. So here are the GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. And it looks like the GOES 16 had to turn on its thrusters here during these arc jet moments to maintain its geosynchronous near equatorial orbit. Some decent swings there in the GOES magnetometers. Here's the line of sight ecliptic plane field plot. And yeah, the North Pole current sheet seeing a delay here. So this could be a result of, well, we could see sunspot 3006 weakening. We'll get to that in a moment. But I'd say more likely we're going to see some sunspots rise or form in the northeast, because the North Pole current sheet is delayed. Not sure when it will arrive. The magnetic environment can change with basically no warning. Next, looking at the coronal hole line of sight plot, as we see the migration of the solar polar fields happening here before our very eyes. And there are some coronal holes over here in the east. Not super well defined though. Let's take a look at it from the SDO's 193 angstroms wavelength. And there you go. There's some ionized iron gas for you, emitting ultraviolet light. And we saw an X-class and a couple of M-class flares come out of this new sunspot, which doesn't even have a name yet. What do you think it ought to be called? Let us know in the comments. It's going to be called 3006. If you're wondering. So yeah, this group up here has degraded largely. It still does appear to be a sunspot barely. That's 3005. 3004 has grown spectacularly in the past day or two. So 3004 definitely more complex. Now definitely raising the likelihood of solar flares. And let's get to sunspots, especially sunspot 3006, which needs a name. It's been visible for well over 12 hours. And you can see the growth of sunspot 3004 here in this 1700 angstroms view. We've got some spectacular close-ups of sunspot 3006. There it is. It's mostly stable here over the past 24 hours, although it's produced some major flares, and you can even see them showing up there in 1700 angstroms. An X-class and a couple of M-class flares there. Right out of the same region, the trailing umbra there. That's the North Pole umbra. Thanks to our YouTube viewers. Congratulations on realizing that our channel exists. We've been putting out daily space weather videos for about 5 years now. And yeah, it's been a bit of a slog. Maybe people are mad at us for citing too many facts. I don't know what the reasoning is. But in any case, once again, thanks to our YouTube subscribers. And please check out our playlists if you've only seen the daily space weather videos. We put out meteorology segments and all kinds of other stuff, including music videos. I'm a classically trained guitarist and a record producer. Did you know? It's true, folks. It's true. Anyway, playlists, youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. Check out the terms defined or the cosmology segments playlist and watch some of our older videos if you haven't seen them. We even do live streams occasionally on YouTube. Look for that coming soon. We're coming back to the live streaming realm on YouTube. We also regularly put up posts on Twitter, and you're all invited to create an account if you don't have one and go answer our Twitter poll. We've got a Twitter poll from April 30th, so just head to twitter.com/smashamash, scroll down to April 30th, find our poll and answer it. What do you think? Twitter is the same or Twitter is fixed? I mean, I've definitely got my own opinions on that, whether or not Twitter is fixed. I'll tell you this, there's certainly not a switch that can be pulled to just shut off the censorship on the internet. That's not a thing. We would also implore you to make Earth not suck again. Have you noticed Earth's been sucking the past 2+ years? Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that. Yeah, Earth's been sucking, perhaps as a result of bad decisions. If any of you happen to pick up an outfit consisting of the leggings and the A-line dress, please let us know in the comments. Send us a photo. Follow us on Instagram. We will feature you as a model on the channel. So pick up some leggings and the A-line dress. I want to see that outfit. It's just awesome. I've got the hat, by the way. The hat's very high quality, along with the print quality. Once again, Mensa. Make Earth not suck again. It's up to you, not heaving bureaucracies that can't even get out of their own way. We also regularly stream live to Twitch. By the time you see this video on YouTube, we would have streamed at least twice on Twitch. Twitch.tv/smashamash. Thanks to our followers over there. If you're a larger channel, please host our content. We're also on BitChute, and we're approaching 700 subscribers over there. If you'd like to support us, consider becoming a member of the Smash Team. You can find links on the homepage about that. Smashamash.com/Smash Team. The gold and silver subscriber levels feature additional content nobody else gets to see. You can find links on the homepage to our Patreon, our PayPal, a permanent invite link to our Discord chat. If you want to send me an instant message, do it via Discord. Again, links to all of the social media. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Visit our links. Thanks to everybody who has. Let's get back to the weather in space. Yes, space. A frontier. Is it the final frontier? Let us know in the comments what you think. No, I'm not going to make a Star Wars reference. I hate Star Wars. I can't stand it. It's been marketed to me for my entire life. I wish it would go away permanently. I'm a DJ. And when things are played out as a DJ, we want to see them played less. What a worthless franchise. So the large flares we've seen in the past day haven't produced any spikes in the proton flux. Proton flux still chilling here at baseline levels. So there are the three major flares, two large M-class flares and an X-class flare. And let's take a look at it. One of the best wavelengths is 94 angstroms from the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. I think it's my favorite telescope. What's your favorite telescope? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, again, an X-class flare and two M-class flares emanating from that region, Sunspot 3006. It needs a name. What do you think it'll be named? The answer is 3006. Sorry to not create enough suspense for you there, folks. By the way, the sun's also not going to kill you, and neither are the planets. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's let this play through one more time. There's the X-class flare. And there are a couple of M-class flares in there as well. Spectacular imagery there in 94 angstroms. Next, we'd like to bring up a star chart daily to show you where things are. Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus all rising ahead of the sun. In the morning sky, my star chart faces the south, as I am located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and I'm currently facing the south, and so is my sofa. Also, the ecliptic is to the south for everybody in the northern hemisphere. It makes sense to face the closest star. So here's a solar system forecast. Here's where things are now. Let's advance it 1 week. Here's where things will be in a week as Mercury swings around to put all the planets on the same side of the sun. I guess that'll have some people panicking and frightened, and they're going to think that the solar system is going to be blown out of orbit and lose its place in the galaxy. Again, folks, planets aren't going to kill you. And let's move on to the coronagraphs. So we've got coronagraphs here only from Lagrange 1 today. We've got old data from Stereo A, so we're not going to show it. But we've got the Soho-Lascaux C2 and C3, located about 1 million miles in between the Earth and Sun at Lagrange point 1. A gravitational equilibrium point which allows spacecraft to hang out there and follow the Earth orbitally speaking without using a lot of fuel. And frankly, my dear, I don't think there's any ejecta headed Earth's way. Could be, could be not, but without the Stereo A imagery, I'm just not sure. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. But whatever you think, thanks for tuning in to the Daily Space Weather. May that solar wind be at your back as I sign off from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Opinions expressed in this video, not necessarily the opinions of Smash News Network, least busted name in news.